If you found this week difficult trading gold or the markets in general, watch this video. We're going to be breaking down some trades that I took, the fundamentals, some macros, and try and figure out how you could have navigated this a little bit better using a structured system like the one that I trade. Now, first of all, I want to talk about the week in general. I want to show you this week in price action and take a look how it looked, right? Now, if we just get rid of everything on the chart, this week started from here, this point. You know what? Let's add that back because we can't see anything. This red box is the whole of the price action from the week just gone. Okay. You can see it barely moved. Nothing happened. All right. And in my opinion, real profitability and consistency long term comes from understanding these types of weeks. Okay. And understanding when to trade and when not to trade. Now, if you look ahead at the week just gone, right? If you was prepared kind of last Sunday and you looked ahead and you looked at what is to come this week in terms of the fundamentals, right? The data, it's very important because from the government shutdown, the Fed hasn't had any of this data. We haven't had any of this data. Okay. And now they're starting to get it again. Now, this was September's, I believe. And there's there's very good reason for the market to stall at the moment, and you could have understood that if you understand a little bit of the fundamentals, which is what I also teach in my community, but that is for another day. So right here we had FOMC meeting minutes. This was the big one, all right? Because from these kinds of meetings, we can see what the overall sentiment is from the Fed, which is important because they decide the policy, right? The monetary policy, the interest rates. From these kinds of meetings, we want to see a tone, right? A dovish or a hawkish tone. Do most of the members agree on rate cuts for December, or do most of them not agree, right? And to be honest with you, it was a little bit mixed, right? The majority, for the most part, have said that basically there may be now sorry, there may now be a narrow majority of officials, not necessarily FOMC voters, who favor holding steady in December, meaning they're not really agreeing on a rate cut for December. They're kind of stepping back and saying, "Whoa, we need to reassess this." Right? Many is greater than several. Okay, so that flipped the where is it? That flipped the likelihood of a rate cut, the probabilities, the bet odds. I think this went down to like a 50 something percent or even a 30 something percent chance when we got this Fed FOMC meeting kind of data, right? This dropped down to I think it was a 34% that we're going to get a 25 basis point cut in December. Now, last night, or kind of like over the past few hours, we have had Fed member Williams, Fed President Williams, come out and say that he believes that there is a strong chance for a rate cut in December. Right now, this is an NY Fed president. Okay, you can see right here. Williams' comments boost odds of a Fed cut through policy hawks, though policy hawks remain adamant, right? And if we break that down here, this is Market AI. I'll leave a link below to this if you guys want to check it out. It's very good for understanding the fundamentals and breaking it down. You can see actually on this little news event that happened right here, high impact news, I just pressed this brain right here, which breaks it down even more. And it says, Williams' comments have increased market expectations for a near-term Fed rate cut, boosting risk assets and lowering yields. Though hawkish Fed members and resilient macro data temper conviction. This dynamic creates volatility, with US equities and bonds likely to benefit while the USD faces downward pressure. Future implications hinge on incoming data and Fed consensus, right? And we can see right here the dollar, bearish dollar for this, bullish NQ, Nasdaq, ES, S&P, Bitcoin as well, right? So it breaks down what this means for the market. And from that data, from him making those comments, it's shot up from like a 30 something percent up to a 71% chance now, right? So this is just bouncing up and down throughout the week, right? These probabilities or rate cut bet odds, right? So we can see right here, one day on the 20th of November, it's gone up 39 something percent, right? So it's bouncing up and down. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. The market is very reactive to these events and what these Fed members are saying. Some of them are saying we're not too sure about rate cuts. We it's not a given, which is what also Mr. Jerome Powell said. But then we're having some members coming out and say, well, it's likely we're going to cut rates in the near term, which mean December, right? So it's very much mixing in the balance, and that's why we have seen this price action this week. So from a fundamental perspective, we had good news for the dollar. Very good news here in terms of NFP, non-farm employment change. They forecast 53K and it actually came out at 119K change from September. This is huge difference, right? So very bullish for the US dollar. Unemployment claims were, from previous, there was 228. They forecast 227. It was actually 220, which is bullish as well. That means less unemployment claims, but unemployment rate was up from 4.3 to 4.4, as well as average hourly earnings ticking down as well from zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.2. So again, you have some bullish news. This is very bullish, this NFP data, but then also you got unemployment ticking up and average earnings down. So again, they're kind of balancing each other out. And that has created a very choppy gold, a very choppy market, right? And if we can see the price action this week, I sent out these levels in my free group or my Telegram or somewhere. I think on my Instagram as well. I broke this down in one of the videos, the weekly outlook. And I basically said, this week the key levels are from 4125 into 4150 and 4000 to 4025, right? And price has literally bounced in those areas, right? We can see we consolidated here mostly on Monday. This was all of Monday and then Tuesday, which we came down late Tuesday, and we got this beautiful 1 to 2 setup right here from my system. Basically, if I turn on V7 and I replay this, you can see we had a bearish bias. This is all automated, guys. All automated. We had a bearish bias. We had a bearish discount zone. These zones are also now automated. You can see these red zones right here, automated. And then entries right here, all automated, as we can see. Sorry if I just turn that on. Buy sell signal. You can see we got a sell signal here. Now this candle closed bullish. So we manage risk by bringing the stops down from here into here. Then what happened? We then bounced back to the downside and came down and tapped into 4,000 and reversed from there. But a beautiful 120 or so pips, 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. From there, the same day. Now, I don't suggest taking too many trades within the same day, especially if you have a winning trade. So this was my one and only trade for the week, actually, right here. This was the only trade I took this week. I made my profit and I called it a week. I didn't trade after that at all, right? Let me just pull up my community and I'll show you my results from that. But a little bit later on then, that day we had another discount strategy setup. You can see we flipped then to a bullish bias and we had a buy signal with a rejection of a discount zone, automated discount zone. Very, very simple, beautiful. Let me just pull this up right here. Boom. Go to my analysis section. This is where I update the members right here. And let me scroll all the way back up. This was my trade. You can see the screenshot right here. So just over 1,000 on the week. I'm happy with that. I'll take that. I don't need anything more than that, to be honest. Replaces my 9 to 5 job. It gives me freedom, gives me my time back, and I'm not greedy. So that was the only trade I took that this week, the 1 to 2, and then we bounced from 4,000 to the upside, and then we got this setup. Now, original stops would have been around here, right? And then there was the 1 to 2. But as we can see, I like to manage risk quite aggressively using my system. This is using my trade management techniques. We close bearish. So what do you do on a bearish closure? You bring your stops up underneath that bearish low because we are in a buy position. We have a bullish bias. We don't want to see bearish closures and then this candle coming down and breaking structure. Doesn't make sense to be in that trade anymore. So we move stops up, manage risk. Price then pushes up. We get another bearish closure right there. So what do? We move stops up again underneath that. So that was the trade right there. That was the small loss. And so we went from a 150 pip stop to a 25 pip stop, right? So that, in my eyes, this is a winning trade. This is what makes me profitable. This doesn't make me profitable. This is what makes me profitable right here, managing the trades, managing risk. Now, of course, you do get a bounce at the upside. On certain occasions, this is going to happen where you could actually probably lock in some profit there, maybe a one-to-one. But on a lot of occasions, this is just going to come down and hit full stop loss, and then you've taken a full loss. And then the week's not looking to, I mean, you'd still be up if you took 1% here, sorry, 2% here, and then lost 1% here, you'd still be up 1%. But if you manage that trade and manage risk, you could be up still 1.8 or something, depending on how you manage this. This would probably be like a 0.2%, 0.25%, probably even less than that, actually. You're probably looking at 1.8 to 1.9% profit still for the week, right? And that's what keeps you profitable. So from there, the trading window is then closed. You can see we have designated trading windows here. That is closed and that day is done. We then move on to the next day where we have this setup right here, which again was a DTG discount setup strategy, right? We can see, no, stops here. You can see we hit a 1 to 2 right there on that. So again, this was very simple. Sorry, let me just go like that and it should come up. We have a bearish bias right here in the top right. We have a bearish discount zone, this red zone right here, and we have rejection to this discount zone. A lot of rejection here, right? And then we bounce down, we reject from that, and we get a sell signal. This is where we enter. We get entry, stop loss, take profit 1, take profit 2, all on the chart. So this is everything automated at this point. You just have to show up and execute and manage the trade accordingly. Then boom, price pushes down 100 and almost 200 pips, 197 pips right there, 1 to 2. And then we move on to Friday where we have this right here, which again, we had a bearish bias. We had a rejection of a discount zone in here. There was a, you know what, let me just show you, just so you guys don't think I'm capping. But we have rejection of a discount zone. As we can see, oh, let me go back, sorry. Right there. We have rejection of a discount zone right here. Right there. Right. And then we sold off. We had a signal here. You know what, why am I doing this? Let me just go back to show you completely. Right. We have a signal right here. It gets triggered, but price then pushes down into profit. First one right here. Tapping off 4025. This is this key level that we have. Now we have to be very aggressive with managing this trade in this level. So at that point, as you're tapping in, you'd move stops to break even, or you would move your stop loss down above here, above this bullish candle, right? And then from there, you get another opportunity right here, right there. Okay. Again, we tap into this level again and we start rejecting back up. As you're tapping in here, you are moving stops to break even because this is such a key level you could bounce from. Okay. So that would be a break even trade. You would execute on that and you would see how it kind of plays out. See if you can get a nice little push down here, but you're not taking any risks in this area, especially with the price action this week, right? So that is how the market played out using my system. A lot of great trades this week in the community from members. I don't know if I could quickly scroll up to this and see some profits right here. Got in and out quick. $470 there. Some others up here. They get lost in this chat because everyone's talking a lot. I should probably create a separate chat for trade results. But let me see. There's some more up here somewhere, I believe. If I don't come across it in the next couple minutes, then I will move on. I will move on. But this is Thursday. It's still just Thursday night. Some more here, 562. Right here, what we got, 7,400. It's probably like a funded account, I'm guessing. Um, yeah, more trades here, more results. He said 1 hour behind the desk, 1 hour of work, and he's calling it a day. What else we got? Yeah, there's some results anyways. You can see from the community that there is results using this system, and I'll probably make a designated trade results section now actually. But yeah, that is the system, and as you can see, 2 1-2s, small loss, and a break even. So really you're looking at like 4% here, maybe 3.8, 3.7% if I'm being like generous. And we could have, you know, we did trade this market with clarity, with consistency, with discipline. And you can too, if you really want to. You know, you can get access to this system so you can get everything automated. You can get the bias automated, which tells you either a bullish or bearish bias for each session. It updates all the time throughout the day. You can get automated zones, key zones, and automated entries, right? It's as simple as that. And then also get access to, you know, my key levels, how I draw these key levels, daily analysis, live sessions, one-on-one, everything, man. You can get access to everything. So if you're interested in that, to start building, you know, some sort of consistency, some discipline, get access to a proven system that can completely change the way you trade and clear up the charts for you, right? Give you, like I said, complete clarity on exactly what it is you're looking for every single day. Am I looking for buys? Am I looking for sales? Is the market bullish? Is it bearish? Where am I looking for sales from? Oh, these exact levels right here. Well, where's the exact entry? Well, it's right here on the chart for you. Where's the stop loss? It's right here. The take profit levels, it's right here. When do I trade? It's all automated for you with the trading windows. And this is going to give you confidence, clarity, and it's going to bring a love back to trading that you have probably lost. You're probably a bit frustrated right now and confused. You know, you're not sure what to do every single day. You're kind of just showing up and going, oh, I guess it's kind of bearish. I guess it's kind of bullish. But this is going to clear that up for you. All right. So going into next week, still these levels remain. Okay. If I just show you the price action on the 4-hour time frame real quick, it is diabolical. Look at this price action, right? Right here. Look at this. Okay. Right here. Look at that. Absolutely terrible. You do not want to be trading this, okay? You do not want to be trying to trade this. We need to wait for clarity now. That could come next week with PPI, unemployment claims. The Fed's going to get more data so they can start making a better decision and might start to give us a bit better of an idea of what they're going to do in terms of interest rates, because that is all gold is waiting on right now. That's all the market is waiting on. Rate cuts or not in December. And then once we understand that and once we get clarity on that, the market will start to price that in, right? We'll start to price it in. But right now it's up, it's down. There's no rate cuts, then there's rate cuts. It's a bit crazy. So let the market do its thing. Let it do what it has to do right now. You don't have to worry about trying to trade in this fucking consolidation. Apologize for swearing. Don't even try to worry about trading here. Look above here and look below here, right? Once we get clarity, right now, this is what we can do. We can just trade the breakout to the upside or the breakout to the downside. Once we get clarity on rate cuts, if we're going to get them or not in December, then we'll know exactly where we want to trade. If we're going to get rate cuts, if it's very likely and we're starting to get more comments from the Fed now that we're getting more data after the government shutdown, and they start saying, oh yeah, it's likely at this point based on the data that we're going to need to cut rates in December, we can start looking at the moves above these levels, right? We know that the market then, or gold in particular, is going to be more bullish. So we can start looking at the breakouts here of 4100 to 4150. and then up into 4225 and 4250, right? You can look at the breakouts here, and then you can look at the breakouts here to continue moving up. And then obviously we have all-time highs over there. But for now, trade these levels, right? So we got 4150, above 4150, and kind of below 4000, right? That's where we're looking at. But even below 4000 in this area, this is where we had this last chop right here. So if we do break below here and come into here, I guess you could look at the break and then I guess retest of this area coming down into this one. But then once that is achieved, you have to be a little bit careful because we got to look at what happened last time price was in here and we had consolidation. So right now it's a waiting game to see what the Fed is going to do. But like I said, we were still able to navigate the market this week with precision, with clarity, executing on a few trades, making profit, locking in another profitable week. And even though there was a lot of confusion, a lot of uncertainty, we were still able to do that. So I'm very happy with this week. I'm excited to see what's going to happen next week. Can't wait for Monday market open. If you guys want to come join us, look for the link below. I hope you enjoyed this little breakdown. If you liked it, if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let me know your thoughts about next week in the comment section, what's to come with PPI and unemployment, and if that's going to help the Fed cut the rates. And also let me know, what is your opinion? Will the Fed cut rates in December? Yes or no? Please let me know down below. I'm genuinely interested to hear everybody's thoughts. It's a very interesting topic at the moment, a very trending topic. Everyone's speaking about this. No matter if you're trading gold, indices, stocks, big crypto, you know what I mean? Everyone's talking about the interest rates right now. So let me know your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video. God bless. Stay safe. Speak soon.